Hello and welcome to episode 572 of Fergo and LeagueFreak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. And join me as always is the glorious LeagueFreak. You can also find on Twitter at LeagueFreak. How you going there, mate?
I'm going pretty well, Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, look, I'm going all right, mate.
Yeah.
Going all right for a 93-year-old.
It's always good when you're 93.
Just pottering around.
Yeah. How good was the grand final?
It was pretty tidy, although I will say, I think all four teams played their grand finals last week.
You reckon?
I think everyone played better last week.
Okay.
Brisbane, probably the only one where I'd say, you know what, they're probably almost on par with what they did last week.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Storm just showed some of the flaws that they showed through the entire year, where at times you could watch them and you'd be like, man, they are the team to beat this year. And then they just go into a funk. For whatever reason, and it happened all year, and you kind of thought, well, sorted out by the finals. And, you know, even against the Sharks, they did it a little bit, but they got away with it. And I think that, you know, in the first half, I mean, it was really weird because the Broncos scored like 2 minutes into the match, and that's always a really worrying sign in a grand final when somebody scores immediately. And then the Storm immediately hit back, and you're like, okay, what's happening here? And then the Storm looked like world beaters for a good 20 minutes. And the Broncos looked like they were under huge amounts of pressure. And you like it felt like if the Storm had have managed to get one more try and they bloody were over the line to get it, they would have won that game pretty comfortably. But then it was like they relaxed or something, and they've done that all year. And I think we really saw the Broncos just not wanting to lose again in a grand final in a horrible way. And it ended up turning into a really classic match because of that. But, I mean, when Kamikamica he was over the line and he had his hands on the ball and he just had to put it down 1 foot. And Reece Walsh hit his arms, but that guy is 120 kilos, Kamikamica, plus. And when that happened, it didn't feel like as big of a moment as it really ended up being, because that was kind of, I think if he had scored that try, it would have been the game. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it was. And Reece Walsh's game, Reece Walsh was just crazy good. He had a real moment. But it was weird in that second half even when the Broncos were down by, I think they were still down by about 10 points or something at that stage. You could feel the air fizzing with a little bit of magic, and you were like, oh, something's happening here. And, you know, the Broncos fought back, and then they got to the lead, and just a real great game. And it even went down to the last minute or two where the Broncos had to hold on with Rampage and Storm players coming through, and there were last-ditch tackles, and I just really enjoyed the game. I was clapping throughout it. I was cheering throughout it, and by the end of the match, I was like, man, that was just an incredible moment. So I was really happy to see the Broncos win. I had nothing against the Storm. It was just, I said going in, I thought it would have been really nice to see the Broncos win for a number of different reasons. A lot of it regarding 2023's grand final, and then you had like Michael Maguire getting another title, and then you had Ben Hunt finally getting a title, and all sorts of different things going on there. So I just thought it was such a great moment for the game, and the TV ratings were gigantic, which was awesome.
Well, it's the proper story arc, because really the team that beats Penrith and knocks them out of premiership contention should be the one to go through and win the premiership. That's how good you have to be to end Penrith. You have to be the team that becomes the next premier.
Yeah, and like when you look at the record books, you know, their run kind of starts with a loss to the Melbourne Storm, it was a different Melbourne Storm team to this. It was much more of a veteran team. And then they have their 4 run, and then they've got that game against the closest they come to losing a grand finals against that Brisbane team in 2023. And then for that Brisbane team to grow out of that the same way that the Panthers grew out of their loss to the Storm, and that'll be reflected in the record books, and I just think that I don't know, there feels something right about that.
Yeah, and look, for me as a Tigers fan, there's a lot that feels right about Maguire, as I was mentioning on the last episode, about Maguire winning that premiership, because it validates him as a legit good coach.
Yeah.
It proves that what happened at the Tigers wasn't 100% on him. He was in a woefully managed club.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look how badly managed you've got to be. He gave as you said last episode, he gave the Rabbitohs their first premiership in 40-odd years. Or maybe 50-odd years almost. And then he went to the Tigers, and they damn near broke the man. As soon as he left, he just had success, and he had success, and then he was, won an Origin series, and then he's won another Grand Final with another club.
Won a Pacific Championship, gave Australia their biggest loss ever.
Yep.
By the way, the last 5 Grand Final winning coaches their last stop was the West Tigers. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, yeah. So it's I am legit happy for him. He definitely deserves it.
Yeah. And it was really weird. Like, there's still, even when he won the title, and as you say, all of that success he's had since he left the West Tigers, he becomes undeniable as a coach. Like, at some point, your resume is just like, stop talking about, the resume's there, shut up now, and yet afterwards, they kept on asking him questions like, there was a lot of controversy over your pre-season training and stuff, and it was like, you were the ones that made the controversy. No one else did. There were doubters about you, and it's like, that was you saying that. Like, no one else. And
that's right.
He just winning this title, they can all shut the fuck up.
Yeah, every single one of them just proves how little they know. Because remember, they were all the ones saying, when he was at the Tigers, that he needs to go, he needs to be sacked, and they were pushing for it in the media. It was the media trying to push him out. And I was like, oh my God. How many episodes did we do where all I did was try to defend the poor bastard and make everyone well aware that it wasn't him that was the problem there. It was the bloody spud in the hat. And when they finally got rid of those two, we were able to install a rookie coach, and he had immediate improvement. Like, going, yeah, there's your evidence. The bloke who they were trying to get, eventually did get rid of, went on to win a premiership at another club just a few years later. Like, how much more evidence do you need that Pascoe and Chairman Lee are the worst rugby league administrators that have ever existed in the game in Australia or England?
Yeah,
look what they did to that club, and with that entire junior base they've got there. Look at the coaches they've churned through.
Yeah, just terrible. But it was good. It was good.
I was going to say, it just proves that Madge was doing pretty damn well despite all of that. He didn't get a spoon there, and probably deserved to get one given how bad the team was and how badly it was run. It just shows you how phenomenal he was as a coach. And now that he's gone to get a little bit of time in a good system, he's proven immediately just how good he is.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even been at the Broncos for 12 months.
No.
So it just, it was great to see him win. Gordon Tallis was whinging about him in the fucking some radio station no one listens to today in Sydney, saying, slow down with Michael Maguire talk. It was Kevin Walters and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I mean, I would hate to ever be as bitter as Gordon Tallis is starting to get. But, it was just good to see all of these people that really deserved a premiership get it, and players that you'd seen get absolutely crushed finally get a premiership. And, they're still a pretty young team. And it was really weird because I watched the game and I was just so elated after it. And there's definitely a hangover from being, a Panthers fan, and you got the 4 premierships. How do you be upset? That'll last for a few years, I'm guessing. So my outlook is probably different from a lot of people. But then I go on Twitter and I'm like, everyone must have loved that game. And I looked, and it was so much fucking whinging. And I was like, why are all these people miserable? That was great.
Yes.
Many miserable cunts.
Now, I do want to say,
yes,
before we get into the miseries, And
Yes.
I've already touched on a few miseries already, but I've got it out of my system.
Yeah.
Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
Right. I heard Braith and Astor. I think it might have been when the TV was on NRL 360 by fluke today.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard it from another room. And he said he thinks he might be one of the best players ever in the game's history. And I was like, can we just settle down? Now, look,
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I'm not going to say that Walsh is a bad player.
No, he's amazing.
He is one of those X Factor players. I'm putting him in the same class very soon as Benji Marshall. That's the sort of player he is. He's going to do that. He's going to do that random shit that no one else can do. There's going to be fuck-ups along the way. But when he's on fire and he's doing that stuff, good luck.
Yeah, and he's in this last month, he has moved from a rocks and diamonds sort of player to, oh my God, this guy worked it out and he's a superstar and we're all in trouble.
So I'm going to say, and I don't think many people have said this before, but right now Reece Walsh is 100% vastly better than Kalen Ponga.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's 23.
You remember who on this podcast has been not on the whole Kalen Ponga is great bandwagon since day one?
Definitely you.
No one's talking about Ponga anymore. They're only talking about Walsh. Walsh has gone past him.
I saw a Broncos fan. Sometimes you see things online and you're like, oh my God. I saw a Broncos fan saying, well, Payne Haas, I think it's fair to say, is now the best front row of all time, and he's definitely better than Shane Webke.
No.
And I couldn't even reply to it because I was like, it's not my job to educate dum-dums. Just move on.
Because you can't. Once they've made that decision in their head, and that is the problem with recency bias.
Or people that and it's all right. We've said this before. Not everyone's a footy junkie like we are. Not everyone's looking up the history of the game. Not everyone saw these players. Like it might have been someone that's 15 years old for all I know. I don't fucking know. But at the same time, I haven't got it within me to sit someone down and spend 2 hours on Twitter trying to explain to them how fucking wrong they are. I just can't do it anymore.
You know, the thing that gets me about comments like that, though, is that there is footage of every single minute of Webke's career that you can go and watch. I don't get it when people make comments like that, because you can go and check and verify it by watching whatever games you want to compare them with. You can do them all side by side. I can get it when people want to say, Payne Haas is better than Duncan Hall. I'm going, one is there's next to no footage of, and a lot of it is written by historians and researchers and stuff like that. And the other guy's playing right now. I can get when people make a comparison like that. They're wrong, but I can get why they do that, because it's hard to do it side by side. But with Webke, just no. The guy he had an engine that was just insane. He would be making the same size post-contact meters with the same intensity in the 79th minute of the game as he was in the first. Yeah. And he wasn't having a big break in the middle. The guy was he was the second coming of Lazarus. And I mean Glenn Lazarus, not whatever was in the Bible. Yeah. Because Lazarus was much the same. I mean, and the difference with him is Lazarus was a much bigger human, not just girth-wise, but height as well. So he had a lot more to lug around. And he played in a time too when most props had to play for 80 minutes, like Steve Roach as well, another one. So can Payne Haas surpass these guys? Absolutely he can. He's got all the skills. He's got the size. He's got everything to be able to surpass them. Has he? Not yet.
No, not even close. Not even close. No. You think of just, this is where you and me, our brains go into car crash mode because it's hard to even start. Glenn Lazarus was the best front rower for a premiership winning team at the Raiders. He was the best front rower for a premiership winning team at the Broncos. He was the best front rower of a premiership winning team at the Storm. He's probably the best front rower that New South Wales has ever had at Origin level. And I think Webke was better than him. Like, I would take, if I had the whole history of the game to have a prop forward, I'd just be like, well, Shane Webke. Like, that's not even a question for me. When I saw that tweet, I was just like, I had a bit of a crisis moment and I had to put my phone down.
Yeah, I think in the modern days, there's 3 props who you want to be. People need to be clued up on just how good they were, and it's obviously Lazarus, it's Webke, and it's Sivanasiva.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only
they're the bar.
Yeah, 100%. And the only thing that I would say to that is, like, just because of what we saw, if somebody said what was the best front row combination that you've ever seen, I would have to go with Fisher Harris and Leota, just because I watched what they did, and it's hard to deny the results that they gave in all of those grand final wins. None of those other great props that we've mentioned kind of had the same quality offsider, you know? It wasn't like it was Webke and Sivanasiva at their best. Webke sort of, his career was just coming to an end as Sivanasiva sort of started to become a front rower. He was a back rower originally.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I would add to it. And I'm not saying that Leota and Fisher Harris are, the best props ever. But I think their combination is the only thing I would add, is like, at club level, that's the best combination I've seen in a front row coupling. But yeah, they're like Sivanasiva, Webke, and Lazarus. I don't even know who would be fourth in it.
In the modern day, it's probably. I mean, you might have to go back to either Steve Roach or maybe someone else in the more recent times. But you're looking for those players who are not just in there making tackles in the middle, making hit ups and that sort of stuff, but actually have other skills that they bring to it. Like Roach he was one of the first props to come along since Beeson with an unbelievable offload.
Yeah.
And he could pass like late in the line while still having all that other aggression that you need, and just very dominant and a big motor. He could play the whole 80 minutes every week, and those are the sort of things that I think are often forgotten when it comes to props, because a lot of the way a prop played in 1989 isn't really all that much different to how they play now. The only difference is back then they had to play more minutes.
Yeah, it's weird how it's sort of because it went from that sort of style coming out of the 5 meter into 10 meter era, and then it slowly morphed into like where we got to a point where props were literally just go forward, play the ball, and that was one of the things that was like, this guy. One of the skills is like, this guy lands on his stomach and plays the ball really quick, and now we're starting to go back a little bit more towards like playing the ball at the line, like Lindsay Smith is playing the ball at the line. He'd have been a great throwback forward in a lot of eras with his ability to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's being underrated because it sort of stands out so much in the modern game. But yeah, that when I saw that tweet, I was like, there's been a lot of tweets like that where I've been like, I'm not here to educate people. I need to move on because I used to do it and it never worked.
You have to walk away from those ones.
Yeah.
Because once you start, you're not going to get them to realize like fact.
No,
they've made up their mind. You're just bashing your head against a wall.
Yeah, it's like that NRL era thing. It's like somebody started with that shit this week. And I mentioned it on the last podcast. That went on for 3 or 4 more days, and I was out of that conversation. But, I watched that bubbling away on my timeline for 3 or 4 more days and just thinking, the fucking stupidity, And I'll say to people, you should look some stuff up. You should Google it. And they never do.
No.
And so why would they listen to you when you sat down and broke it down to them? It's
some people though, they feel like they're going to achieve something if they can challenge someone like, someone says, I think David Middleton's wrong on a fact. It's like, prove it. And then they don't. But they just go, no, but he's wrong. So what I've just given you is the fact. So a classic one other than the NRL era is that St. George Illawarra is the same as the St. George Dragons. And trying to tell people that, no, they're two different clubs.
Yeah.
That triggers a lot of St. George fans from the St. George Illawarra side.
Yeah.
And I tell you how the merger that they've got is different to the one to the Tigers and Balmain. It may well be. But at the end of the day, it's a different club to St. George. And they won't accept that. And they try and make arguments around fact to try and prove themselves right. So it doesn't matter what you do. You can't correct these people. You just got to let them go, you know what? You're wrong. I'll let you be wrong as much as you want. I'm not going to waste my time arguing with you. I've got other things to do.
Yeah. Well,
leave them be.
The thing that kicked it off was somebody posted a list of teams that had won NRL premiership since 1998 and their wins and losses in grand final since then. And I basically said some idiots left 90 years of history off of this list, And yeah, you just, when you say something that's really like, there's no doubt that there were 90 plus years of history before that. It just happened. Like, I saw some of it. It's documented.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, well, that didn't really count. And it's like, what are you talking about? It didn't count. Like, I watched it.
I was there.
Yeah.
It's mad. I actually heard one of the commentators. I didn't quite pick up on the stat wise, but I think they're talking about the number of coaches who have won a premiership coaching two or more different sides.
Yeah.
They said I was only like 3 or 4 of them. I was like, no, that ain't right. But they only went back as far as 98 because I was waiting for him to say, Arthur Halloway.
Yeah.
Because he got him with Balmain and East. He might have been close to the first. They never mentioned this bloke. He won 10 premierships in his career. No one has matched him. And yet they're like, too long ago. Let's just go with Wayne Bennett.
I saw one go back to Jack Gibson, and I was like, ooh.
Well, that's nice.
Ooh.
That's nice.
But yeah, it's really funny when they'll say, in all the history, this player's the first to do that. And you're like, I can name 6 that did that. It's so dumb. Yep. And there's no reason to leave it out because it's really, we've talked about it. Rugby League's history is super, super, super well documented. It's like probably one of the most well documented sports, especially in Australian Rugby League history, one of the most well documented sports ever.
Okay, it's getting there. It's not bad, but it is getting there, and the thing is, it's getting there fast, which is good. But for a long time, basic things like match details, no one bothered with it. But things like talking about the game, what happened in the game. I mean, you've only got to go back to the episode we did on 1908 and before. But just the talk between the two rugby codes was everywhere, and that was when Rugby League, hadn't started. The Slash was in its first year. Yeah, and it was everywhere. People talk about it all the time. So yeah, I don't get. The only reason why I think people will do it is, it's either convenience because it's easier just to find that data, or that's what they've lived through, or it makes the stats look better if fewer people have done something that they're talking about.
I add a third thing here. They're just being fucking lazy.
Yeah, pretty much that too.
Yeah. I think
how long it would take to go through 120 years of data when it's just easy to go through, 28 years.
But here's the thing, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to say, this is the first time this has happened, and it's not, then you're being dumb. And if you can't like just do a real quick search and just look that up, which I've done 1,000 times over things rugby league related, I'll be like, oh, I wonder if this has happened before. And you look it up and it's like, oh no, it's happened a bunch of times before. That's interesting. And you move on with your fucking life. Instead, someone will be like, oh, this has never happened before. And then when you point out, I know it's happened a bunch of times, they're like, well, that doesn't count. It's like, what the fuck do you mean it doesn't count? I can give you a DVD and show you when it happened. Like,
there's people who can help you find answers to questions. I'm not just talking about myself here either. There's another guy who does the stats for the Fox Sports Lab, Aaron Wallace on Twitter.
Mm.
Yeah, he can run queries on his database straight away. You'll often get the data before I will if someone asks a question. David Middleton's on there as well. Like, don't just wing it and hope that you've come across a stat that no one knows, because I can guarantee you, if you've come up with a stat and it might be one that no one's actually looked into before, there's 3 or 4 of us on there that will immediately go and research it to see if you're right or not.
Yeah.
You know, and Aaron and Mido will probably look it up first, and I'll always take their word over most other people's.
Yeah, I was seeing it out of England recently where they were, they said that they were on track to say sell 60,000 tickets to one of the Ashes games. They're like, it'll be the biggest Ashes crowd ever, and I was like, no, here are the biggest Ashes crowds ever. And they were like, oh, well, we meant in England. And I was like, well, that's the highest in England there. And it's the highest in Australia, and the highest ever was in Australia. And it's like, so why did you fucking say it then? Why did you say it's going to be the biggest Ashes crowd ever if it's just not going to be?
Yeah.
And they don't have any answer to it. And it's like, well, just shut up about it then. So say it's going to be one of the biggest, but don't fucking just erase history because you're being lazy.
It's just what they do.
Yeah. See how pissed off it makes me?
Yeah.
It's boy. Fuck you lazy bastards. Like, if you can't fucking Google it, stop pretending you're some sort of authority on it. You can't even fucking Google it.
I wonder how much of this is actually the fault of Rugby League Project for making all this data so easily accessible. People just do a half-assed job of researching stats because they've been on there. They're going, oh, I found a stat, I'm going to tweet this out.
I think that the problem is that there are a lot of things on that Fox Sports puts out where they just go by Rugby League from 1998, and it's like, what's that about? I've seen Channel 9 do it.
I don't mind it when they do it. So if they put that stat out there, as long as they put the years that it pertains to on there, I'm fine with that, because the stat's correct as far as I'm concerned. If they're going to put out a stat from 1998 till now, it serves a purpose to show how frequently or infrequently that's happened in recent times, which is still valid. But if they just put it out saying, a stat from since 1998, but say, oh, this is just the 5th time this has happened in the history of the game, but they're only going back to 98, that's where I've got a problem.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Totally stupid. It's like people that look where, they say, oh, Souths have only won 1 premiership. I've seen that. And it's like, you are fucking stupid. Like, this is the winningest club in the history of the entire sport in Australia. You are fucking stupid. There's no way around it. And people like that say stuff like that, they don't deserve anything more than to be called an idiot.
Yeah.
That really pisses me off, Andrew. Really fucking pisses me off.
Grinds your gears even.
Oh, so badly.
Well, can we move on to something that won't grind your gears?
Okay.
Yep. The Australian Kangaroos squad has been named for the Ashes series.
Mm.
Yeah. There's about 50 players in the squad for 3 games. It's great. Everyone gets a game.
Now, I got to say, when I saw that this squad was named and I had a look at it, in the past I would have blown up about it, right? And some of the players in it. But because I've been so happy the last few days and just enjoying the game and have been I felt like the grand final was a real celebration of something special. I was like, whatever. Just send some guys over. We'll win it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need to be upset about it.
So, shall we go through the squad?
Yeah, go through it. What was it?
All
A
right.
23-man squad, I think it was, yeah?
Yeah, something crazy like that. Yeah, 23.
Yeah.
Blake Brayley, Patrick Carrigan, Nathan Cleary, Xavier Coates, Lindsay Collins, Ruben Cotter, Angus Crichton, Tom Dearden, Dylan Edwards, Tino Fa'asamalui, Harry Grant, Keon Kolomatangi, Zach Lomax, Mitch Moses, Cameron Munster, Andy Marjolais, Jacob Preston, Gahamat Shibasaki, Lindsay Smith, Katoni Staggs, Ethan Strange, Reece Walsh, ICO, and Hudson Young.
Now, there are a few players I wouldn't have in my squad, obviously, that are there. But as I said, it doesn't matter. Just send a bunch of Aussies over there. We're going to win it. We'll win the trophy. England's going to whinge about it. They'll say that something happened, and then we won't need to play them again for another 20 years if they're still around by then. And so that's what it comes down to. But I put together my preferred side from the squad that they named. So do you want to hear that side?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let me bring it up because my fucking Twitter feed that I'd put it on decided to refresh. Okay, here we go. This would be my team.
Yep.
Reece Walsh at fullback. My wingers would be Xavier Coates and Lomax. I think that's a pretty handy wing combination, to be honest.
Bloody oath.
My centres would be Staggs and Shibasaki. I love his name, by the way. I'm so glad that I can say Shibasaki.
I still think Marjolais is better.
Marjolais is very good. I don't know, Shibasaki. I like saying it like that.
Tell you what, imagine if Shibasaki was dishing the ball to Marjolais.
Oh my God.
Oh. I think I had a moment.
Yeah, I'm hard. I'm really hard now. My halves are Munster and Cleary. That's really straightforward. My prop forwards are Big Tino, Fasamala and Carrigan. My hooker is Grant, obviously. My back rowers are Ruben Cotter and Angus Crichton. And lock is obviously Isaiah Yeo. Then my bench is Lindsay Smith, Kalamatangi, Collins, and then Brayley, because I'm one of those, 3 forwards and a hooker bench people. So,
well, the good thing about having Brayley on the bench is he did grow up in the lower grades playing a fair chunk of halfback, and he has played halfback for the Sharks with a lot of success. So he's a pretty good person to have on the bench. And yeah, I don't find too much wrong with that. I'm not sure about Ruben Cotter though.
I don't mind. Look, it doesn't matter. Ruben Cotter is going to be better than any other English forward.
He may well be, but it's just
he'll get the job done.
He's come from a team that has been mediocre all year.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't have him there.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he got picked. I'm surprised Hudson Young got picked.
Yeah, Hudson Young is just a meme.
I'm not surprised Ethan Strange got picked, but I wouldn't have picked him only because there's so many halves in this side.
Yeah, there's
3 games.
Yeah.
It's
3 games. It's not like they're playing any more games than that. That's the weird thing about having.
They're not going on a 12-game tour.
No. So, yeah, it's
unless they're going to add some games on to the end, because how else do you justify having 23 players go over there? Are you seriously going to be rotating 10 players in and out of those squads for 3 games? That's mad.
Look, Kevin Walters has to just pick his best team and go with it for the 3 games. I would hate for him to go over and feel like he needs to give everyone a run, because he doesn't. Like, if you go over and you miss out, hey, you're not one of the 17 best available on the tour, and too bad. But yeah, look, we're gonna smash England. It doesn't matter who we run out there. And I saw that the England coach was talking about how he wants to select Bateman in his team because he's got credit built up with him, and it's like, well, that kind of seems like debt to me. But anyway,
it sounds like a credit card.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like if that's what they're aiming for, good luck to them, and they'll get a big cash injection with all of the money that the Kangaroos generate, and they'll piss it away up against the wall somewhere in Leeds, and
Tell you what, I
then
guarantee
they'll say we need to save them again.
I can click on a random player's name in the Super League that has played this year.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you they will be a better idea or a better option in the back row than John Bateman. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to casually scroll through the list now, and you stop. Anytime you want.
Okay. Someone that's better than Bateman.
Yeah, I'll just click on the name when you say stop. Okay. And we'll see who it is, and I bet you it'll be a better second row than Bateman.
Okay, stop.
Liggy Sow. Yeah, actually, that's probably pretty fair.
Why not? It's like, look, if they want to run out players of Bateman's quality, good luck.
Yeah, luck especially.
Yeah. That'd be really good.
So it's actually interesting because during the week I've been looking at a few British newspapers and working on some of the, coaches' history over in England in the Super League era. And I saw a comment from one of the coaches over there. I can't remember who it was, and it was in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked, why is there such a gulf between the Australians and the English right now?
Mm.
And his response was, there's too many Australians playing in the English comp.
Yes, I remember that train of thought, and they were right.
Yeah, he said, you know what, we've got too many Australians in the squad, which means English players aren't coming through at the same volume as they were, and they're not being developed as well as they should have been, because teams are now just focused on we need to win to survive.
Yeah, and that was right. And they would say Australians, but it was, Australians and Kiwis and Pacific Island players. It was all sorts of imports. And they were right, because these teams were just loading up on imports, and there was no need to develop players. Not that they develop players at Super League level, because they just sort of buy juniors from clubs and then chuck them in.
Yeah.
They're not real good at developing players. But that was the general thought process back then. And that was something that I used to talk about a lot, was that, you can't develop, English players in key positions when every single team, those key positions are taken by players from overseas.
Yeah. So he went on to say things like, it was okay when it was just one person per team from overseas. That was okay. But now it's just, you have as many as you want.
Yeah.
He nailed it. And it was 26 years ago he said that.
Yeah.
Quarter of a century. Well done, England. You've learnt from that lesson.
They're putting the quotas back up again.
Yeah. But just to help, they're going to make it so that each team can name 21 players every week, just so we can get more of them into the squads.
I think they're putting it up to, is it 10 imports now each team can have going into next year?
It's nuts.
And it's crazy. It's totally crazy. And so it's up to 10 imports, and they're going to add 2 extra teams to Super League. They don't know how they're going to fund that yet, but they've got a couple of months to work that out. They don't know who those teams will be, but they've got a couple of months to work that out. And it's all going really well.
I saw during the week that Keithley got a score of 0 from IMG because they didn't put their paperwork in on time.
Well, I mean, who knew that you had to put in paperwork?
Yeah, I mean, it only happened to other teams in previous years.
Yeah.
It's not like there was a precedent.
I mean, there's so many other things that they had to work on, like, I don't know.
Careful. Careful. We'll move on.
I mean, they're not a professional rugby league club, Andrew. Cut them some slack.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
What else has been going on in the world of league?
Not a huge amount else. It's just been a really good, fun grand final week. And I just really enjoyed it. There was something about it that I just really enjoyed the whole thing. I'm glad to see that the NRL ratings, apparently it was the highest rated NRL game of the year, or rugby league game of the year, even higher than the State of Origin games. It was the highest rated TV show in all the Australian capitals except for Adelaide. So fuck knows what was on Adelaide TV. It must have been really good.
I don't know that people in Adelaide have TVs.
Well, I mean, I know I've got some friends in Adelaide. I know one of them doesn't even hasn't hooked up an aerial for years.
Yeah,
because
so
I've asked them about it.
Yeah, they're a different breed over there.
Yeah, they're definitely different. They are definitely different. But yeah, it was great to see those ratings come out. The PNG team looks like it is definitely coming in for 2028. So I was a bit shocked to hear that because I thought that was on the rocks a little bit recently, and now it looks like it's definitely going to happen. There was talk that Cameron Munster is probably looking at going to the Perth Bears, and the Storm have said that they wouldn't stand in their way, he'd have their full blessing and all that sort of stuff. So
when are the Bears coming in?
2027.
Ooh.
So Munster on say November 1st, he could have talks with the Bears. Anybody that's coming off contract at the end of next year, they can have talks with the Bears now and be going into their first team going into 2027. So yeah, it's starting to get serious now for the Bears recruitment.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of bringing things back.
Yes.
As this is the I've worked hard on that segue. There. You can hear the gears grinding. Mm-hmm. The Broncos want to bring back the World Club Challenge for next year.
Yeah, good for them. You got to do something in February, don't you?
That's right. So if Wigan win, they're open to playing the game either in Wigan or at Suncorp.
Yeah.
If Hull KR win, they're apparently keen to go to Craven Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's what they want to do with their February, that's cool.
Yeah. Good little training run.
Yeah. Yeah, you go, look, everyone will be sorting out their trial matches, I guess, and if that's how they want to do their trial matches, I think good luck to them. You can play anyone, I guess, can't you?
If they're smart, I don't know why. If they're going to do the World Club Challenge,
yeah,
why not do it a few weeks after both teams have had their grand final? Because this is the thing that always gets me is they do it the year after when all the cohesion and everything's gone, the squads have changed.
They're not
the same teams anymore.
You and me know the answer because we don't give a fuck about it. We don't care. The grand final is played. We play the NRL Grand Final to work out who the best club in the world is. The best club in the world is the Brisbane Broncos. And then we go into international games. We play a couple of internationals, and then we look forward to the next NRL season where we work out who the best international rugby league club is. And that is the team that holds the Telstra Premiership Trophy. Like, we don't need to look to some little town in northern England to work it out. Like, that's silly. We know what the answer is, Andrew. That's why we don't do it. Can you imagine the Broncos being like, oh, now we get ready for the real test? It's like, no, they just beat the Melbourne Storm. 4 million people watched it in a stadium of about 80,000 people. Like, that was the World Championship. We watched it. The Broncos won it. Next.
It's done.
Yeah.
Speaking of next, the international season has begun.
Yes.
So on the weekend, Italy beat Lebanon 16-14 at Lidcombe.
Mm-hmm.
And over there in The Hague, Ireland beat the Netherlands 30-0. And this Netherlands side is, from what I can see, all local players.
Mm-hmm.
And there's at least five players that I can see in this Ireland side that have been playing in one of the top three divisions in England.
Mm-hmm.
There could be more. But I don't know. To me, even if you've got players from League One, in that island side.
Mm-hmm.
And they're only up 10-0 at halftime over the Netherlands side. And these are Netherlands guys. None of these guys are playing in either Australia, in New Zealand, England, France. None of those comps. They're all playing in Netherlands.
Mm.
I don't know. As much as the score says 30-0, I think that's a pretty damn good result for the Netherlands.
Well, the problem the Netherlands have is that they really struggle to get games against the high quality opponents very often. And so they can't sort of take that next step. And, you need that with development of players on the ground, obviously.
Yeah.
And look, we all know how it works with Scotland, Ireland, and Wales a lot of the time. Although I do know that people within Irish Rugby League really want it to change and really be, honest to goodness, Irish players in their team. But we know how it normally works with those sides. It's normally a bunch of Englishmen. And, I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think Ireland is going to progress to the World Cup. But, I think it would have been nicer if the Netherlands had sort of got a chance to play the next level of team rather than Ireland.
True. But, you take what you can at this stage for them.
True.
It's got me thinking. I wouldn't mind actually seeing an Ireland and Scotland combined team playing against an England and Wales combined team. Not because I want to see football. I just want to see the Scots and the Irish just get violent. I mean, what better invitation would there be than that?
Yeah, look, the problem is that England doesn't want to play anybody else.
I know.
They just have complete and utter contempt for Wales, Ireland, and Scotland, and France, and anybody in Europe because they're too important. Just ask them. So,
Ireland and Scotland can just come along and say, you know what, we've designated a time and a venue for this game, and we're going to turn up. And if the England and Welsh wimps don't want to turn up and play us, that's fine. That'll just be a forfeit by you guys because you're too scared to play us, and we're going to make sure that goes against your name on the rankings.
Well, if we had
just goad them into it.
It would be great. That would be great. If we had a real international board that knew what the term calendar actually meant, then we would have an international board that would dictate that teams have to play certain other teams. Otherwise, they would forfeit points and they would work their way down the rankings list that they put out. But we don't have that, and they don't know what a calendar means, and they don't actually run anything, but they like to take credit for everything that happens, even though they don't really do anything to make stuff happen. So it's good. It's good how it works.
It is. Well, look, there's more international footy coming up this Saturday at St Mary's.
Mm-hmm.
Poland plays Greece.
My old stomping ground, St Mary's.
Yeah, that's at 3 p.m.
Poland versus Greece.
Yep. And Sunday, the Netherlands play Ukraine. That's probably going to be a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna try and watch that one. I don't know how much luck I'll have there, but...
Where's that at?
That's in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And on the 25th of October, Wales play Ireland.
Yeah.
You'd be keen on that.
Yeah.
They play a return match the week later.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to see.
So there's a bit of international footy going on.
Yeah, and of course we've got the Pacific Championships that are coming up. We'll get into that a little bit more as it gets close to kickoff to that competition. But that's going to be awesome to watch. I can't wait for that.
So we've got the Pacific Cup, which has got New Zealand, Samoa and Tonga, and the Pacific Bowl will have Fiji, Cook Islands and Papua New Guinea. I don't know why we're doing bowls and cups again.
I don't understand it either. But, if we had an international board...
it's the Pacific Tupperware Party.
Yeah, it's great. But they should call it the Pacific Dishwasher because you just reach in and pull something out. And then we've obviously got Australia playing some Englishmen and a bunch of Australians that they want to select. So, much anticipated series, that one. Everyone's talking about that series.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, everyone's really looking forward to it.
Did we get any emails?
No, we didn't. We didn't this week.
Man, we give you all a week.
I think our listeners blew their wad on the grand final, hey?
They probably did.
Which is understandable.
Oh, well. It's, Did you watch the Formula One on last night?
I did, yeah. I just can't believe what I just can't believe it. Like I've never seen a Formula One team have a driver that is leading the Formula One World Championship so clearly coming into the last third of the season and not committing to winning the World Drivers' Championship. And I think that there is a real chance that Verstappen's going to win the World Championship because of it.
If Piastri's not getting it, I would love Verstappen to get it.
Yeah, same.
I've never really cheered on Max before. I think I might have done a bit in his first one, just because, you wanted to see the end of Hamilton's run. But haven't really cheered too hard for him. Don't hate him, just, I want to see some good races. And I can appreciate the fact that he had those few years in a row there where he basically won every week, which is, you've got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Piastri doesn't get it, then it'd be good for Max to get it. And just know that might have been the closest Lando gets, given there's a lot of new regulations next year. And the best car designers at Aston Martin next year.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That'll change things a lot. They instead of in the last race making Piastri give the points to his teammate because his teammate had a slow pit stop. And if you look at this race and think, well, if they had to swap positions to give Piastri more points, the World Championship would be quite a distant way ahead of Max Verstappen, who's really the guy that they've got to be watching out for because he's coming for it. That Red Bull's improved a little bit. The guy's a genius.
Yeah.
And if anyone can drag that bloody car to another world title, it's him. And I would be worried if I was McLaren about it, but they're not. They're too busy manipulating results. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I've never seen anything like it before. Like I've seen teams make teammates move so a teammate wins the World Drivers' Championship. I've never seen it where the guy leading the championship moves so his teammate can catch him up in the championship.
Was Webber ever in that situation when Vettel first came along?
I don't think so. I think Vettel always
I think Webber one of those years was actually started off really strong and he was in front. I can't remember now.
I can't remember that.
But yeah, it's
the only thing I can remember that's anything like that was, remember there was a year where Michael Schumacher, I think it might have been the year, maybe it was the year he broke his leg or something, but there was a year where Eddie Irvine was in with a real outside shot at winning the world title.
Oh, was that the late 90s?
I can't even remember.
I think Irvine went...
Was it Irvine or Barrichello, maybe?
No, I don't think Barrichello was ever that close. I think it might have been Eddie Irvine. I think there was one year there where Irvine was agonisingly close to a world title and he just missed out.
Yeah, because I remember there was a race where they said that Michael Schumacher kind of had to win it to take points away from whoever he was going up against. And that would have been good for Irvine. And the English writers all said that Michael Schumacher purposefully got away really poorly because, Michael Schumacher didn't like winning races. And just typical English writing, But yeah, that was the only thing I could sort of think about where you have your fastest driver, obviously, is that you kind of don't want him to win. You want the other guy to win. So this is even different from that. And I just have never seen anything like it. It's very strange. And I
It
think
is.
if McLaren lost the World Drivers' Championship because of it, it'd be tragic for Piastri, but it would serve McLaren right.
I think Piastri would bounce back. Going this close, this early in his career, I think he'd be fine.
Yeah.
I think it would destroy Lando mentally.
Yeah.
Because he's getting a bit of a leg up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it's pretty stupid. It's just really stupid.
I also think Piastri, I wouldn't be shocked if he moved teams and just got sick of this bullshit. Like, imagine if he won the world title this year and then left immediately. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be pretty funny.
This would be a big slap in the face for McLaren, and they deserve it. It's very strange how they're carrying on with it. You mess with a possible world championship.
No.
You scratch and claw your way for every single point.
And what if
doing the opposite?
What if Lando ends up winning the World Drivers' Championship?
Yeah.
But at what cost? What have you just done to Piastri?
Yeah. It's so strange.
It is madness.
By the way, it's really weird that in 2025, where we've got all of the best racing engineers in the world, and we've got all the best simulators, and we've got AI to help us, that we still have racetracks where you can watch 52 fucking laps when no one can overtake anyone.
It was 20-odd laps at the start of the race when no one had DRS.
Yeah, it's
they
just
weren't even
stupid.
within a second of each other.
Yeah, it's just stupid. And I think is that the third consecutive race where it's been a procession, and it's horrible to watch. It's just you're sitting there hoping that somebody puts a tyre on too slow, unless it's Lando, because that means Piastri's screwed too. And it's just so boring, and there's no reason for it to be like that. Like, we have all the resources in the world to know what works or what doesn't work, and yet we've still got racetracks like this where no one can overtake.
The obsession with having street circuits is the problem. There's so many street circuits on there now, and all of them are narrow.
Mm-hmm.
They've got no runoff area, so there's no motivation to try and push for a gap on the outside or the inside because, there's a wall there.
Yeah.
And so everyone just drives restricted. And it's just horrible. You just, instead of having... Everyone could handle Monaco being a procession every year if it was the only race that was like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when there's 15 races every year that are processions from start to finish, and Monaco then looks real bad because it's the worst of the processions.
Yeah.
It's you can't carry it anymore. But they just keep signing these tracks on for longer deals. The only thing that works or that might help is that next year with the new regulations, the cars will be smaller.
Yeah.
Not hugely. They will be a bit shorter and a little bit narrower. So whether that helps improve anything, I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to improve by that much.
Like that Azerbaijan race that was before Singapore, like that track is outrageous. The fact that we had a qualifying session that went for 2 hours because the best drivers in the world were having to throw their cars through these narrow little gaps in walls that was the track. It just silly. Like, what are we doing?
And then you've got this one long straight, which is like 4 lanes wide.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the track is just these like back roads through some country town somewhere. You can barely fit a car through it. It's just ridiculous.
It really is. Like, you would think that, like, the Circuit of Americas, where you've got basically all the money and they said, let's make a really good racetrack, and you would think that they should all be like that. And I'm not saying that that's the greatest track in the world. I'm just saying, like, if you want to have Formula One tracks, they should kind of all be like that to a certain extent, where, you've got plenty of racing room, you've got plenty of runoff, it's a long enough track, you got the facilities. We shouldn't be shoehorning tracks into back streets in, Eastern European countries that no one can actually go to because it's a bit sketchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. it makes complete sense that way. That's why some of the tracks we had in Germany, France, around Italy, those custom-made tracks have been using for decades, which are not street circuits.
And there's a reason that a lot of those ones survived, because there were other tracks that were used in the past and they weren't great. But then Spa gets used every year because, hey, this track's really good and people can overtake on it and stuff like that. You know, the Nürburgring was another one that unfortunately they got rid of. So I always thought that that the Hockenheimring was great, but they decided to chop the crap out of it and turn it into just another bloody track.
Yeah, when they cut it up, they really ruined the flow of it.
Yep.
Horribly. And they had to stop using it because they destroyed it so much.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. I mean, there was talk they were going to start doing things to try and change Eau Rouge at Spa as well, because they said I was too dangerous now. I was like, you're fucked.
Yeah, like it, just if they've got the technology to make the runoff areas better and stuff, go for it. But you can't have these tracks that are amazing for races and we know what works and then keep using things that we know don't work. Yeah. It makes no sense. And what? Like Formula One isn't short of money. It's cool for money. Like we can start looking at having maybe a little bit better racing, because I've watched a bunch of races where it should have been great, and this one at Singapore was another example. They were all within a couple of seconds of each other. Like I think the top 4 drivers were within 6 seconds of one another in this race. And at no point did a race ever look like it was going to break out between them.
No.
So it's boring.
It is boring. Maybe we just need a racetrack that's about 4 lanes wide the whole way around. Pick your own driving line. Pick anyone you want.
You would think that they would be able to work out through AI and their simulators and all that how to have multiple racing lines on a track with the camber that they can use and different parts of certain turns and stuff like that. But no, we shoehorn these tracks into street circuits. It's silly. It's so silly.
Yeah. It just means that you end up all having to use the same line because there's no wriggle room.
Yeah. Well, look, when the drivers are talking about how bad it is to overtake, or when it starts to rain, all of the lines from crossing walks and stuff just become ice because they're, that's what are we doing? You go to Las Vegas and you're sucking vents out of the road as you're going over the top of them. So dumb.
That track I hate.
Same here. I just hate that.
It's the upside down pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Terrible.
really is a pig.
Terrible. I think, look, the Albert Park is probably the best street circuit, I would say. But, it's like, I mean, there you live down in Melbourne. It's not really street circuit. It's more like the driveway through a park.
Yeah, it's the road that goes around the lake and a few streets that tack onto it.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? I don't think so.
No.
But it's not bad. It's just, we've got other racetracks we could use that are dedicated tracks. There's Sandown and there's, what's that other one? Island.
What? Oh, Phillip Island.
Phillip Island, that's the one.
Yeah.
Use those. They're dedicated racetracks. They're probably better.
By the way, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, but the problem is, and I think it's the case with all of them, is they're too far away from a capital city for people to get to. And I think that's the reason why they use all these city circuits.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
It's all for corporate stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see, during the week, right, I saw something come up in my timeline about who was it? It was the Cleveland Browns are looking to build a new stadium for their NFL team.
Mm.
And I just looked at the plan, like just the pictures of it, and I retweeted it and basically said, man, wouldn't it be cool if we had something like this in Sydney to replace Accor Stadium? I made people so angry saying that. I made people furious.
I mean, it's what you do.
It's just so weird.
Hang on. When you retweeted, did you retweet it in an angry manner?
No, I didn't.
You always do.
I didn't. I was like, wouldn't this be cool? And well, we're not going to have any hospitals or roads anymore, or like I had one person saying that in Australia you cannot make an economic plan to build a new large stadium like that because we don't have the population. And I'm like, we've built big stadiums all over Australia. What are you talking about? And they're like, sport is just not big enough in Australia to support this compared to sport in the US. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the thing about Twitter this week, right, Andrew? I think everyone on Twitter got together on a meeting and decided to fuck with me, right? I had people saying like all sorts of horrible things to me. So many horrible things. And so I had to tweet again saying like, I've got people going off their heads that are angry at me because I tweeted, wouldn't it be nice if we had a new stadium in Sydney like this? And it was just like, oh, wouldn't it be nice? And just, I got launched into over it. It was so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny that people will go nuts over the fact that you thought about, having a new stadium. How many people are losing their shit about how much money the federal government's put into the PNG team for non-rugby league reasons?
You know what the most outrageous thing about that is that the NRL, as part of that deal, got a giant amount of money from the federal government that they then handed out to each NRL club as a lump sum that those clubs already have and is gone now. And that is part of the payment for the clubs allowing an 18th team in that obviously takes every club's share of the NRL competition from 1/17th to 1/18th. So NRL clubs got it was a giant amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like well over $10 million each.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a payment. Boom, done. You all got it. It's gone.
Yep.
Fucking unbelievable.
It's staggering.
But LeagueFreak says, oh, wouldn't a brand new stadium like that be great? And people fucking launch into me. It was incredible. I had people being like, well, that only seats 68,000, you idiot. And you need more than that to attract the FIFA World Cup. And I'm all I could think of was like, I just thought it looked pretty, man. Like that's as far as I wasn't fucking making some statement.
Yeah, but well, no, in your turn, you weren't saying, I just think it looks pretty. You were saying, it's fucking pretty.
We need a national scheme where we make this stadium right here.
See, this is the problem that you have is you always make political statements, man. You got to be careful about that.
Honestly, it's so fucking weird. I say like real basic stuff. Like there was somebody posted a picture of people watching the NRL Grand Final in like Vietnam or something, and it's tourists watching it in Vietnam. Well, it might not have even been Vietnam. It was somewhere. I can't remember. Anyway, I was like, the NRL in the next TV deal should really look to leverage some of that money, that extra money, and try and grow its international, interest that's obviously there, right? Well, fucking people just launched into me, didn't they? Like, fucking unbelievable. It was just crazy.
It is maddening. I don't know, man. It's really weird. I remember years ago when we started this podcast that you'd go on Twitter and you'd have some good conversations with people, and you may not agree with them, but you'd have good conversations with them. And now you just tend to go on Twitter, and it's where you go to rage or die on a hill and be raged at.
It's really weird.
And I'm like, I don't really need this anymore. That's why I barely tweet anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
And I'll put some stats out there every now and then.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by that? I go, I just put numbers out. Like, I don't mean anything by it.
I saw what's his name? Footy Industry, right?
Yes.
He's been posting about. Look, he posts about the TV ratings.
Yeah.
And he posts about like all sorts of stuff. That's why I love watching his tweets.
He's a fucking legend. This guy.
Yeah, he's great. We've had him on the podcast before, right? And he posted about the TV ratings this week and how the NRL TV ratings have been absolutely amazing this year. And he's been getting like just people going after him nonstop. And he's like, hang on a second, these are ratings that I've been posting for forever. And depending who wants the ratings to mean one thing or the other, everyone just argues at him. And he's like, I just post the ratings. Like, it's not me. And I saw he put out, there was a Roy Morgan poll that put together, and they said who was the most popular NRL clubs in Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I think the top two were like the Storm and the Broncos, which kind of makes sense in a way. But then I think the third one was the Roosters. And I just tweeted like, oh, that kind of seems a bit weird, because I would say just in Sydney alone, like it's probably the Eels or the Bulldogs or maybe even the Dragons. I don't know. But it just seems weird. I don't think it's probably the Roosters. But apparently this tweet that he'd put out, just people smashed him for it. And he was like, it's a Roy Morgan poll. There's not like...
He's just sharing news at this stage.
Yeah, and the poor dude's been getting smashed all fucking week by posting like that Roy Morgan poll and TV ratings. And it's like, man, do people not realise it's not him that puts it together? Like that he's just saying, oh, look, these are the ratings for the week, That's weird. I don't get it. I enjoyed the grand final. I thought the grand final was great. I thought it was great to see Reece Walsh win the Clive Churchill medal. And that was it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's got so angry on Twitter. I don't know what's happened there. But it's good not being on there so much, because I've been getting quite a lot of work done on my website, so it's all good.
Well, look, my off-season, I mean, obviously we're going to be talking about footy through all the internationals, and then we'll probably do history podcasts and stuff through the off-season. But my plan for the off-season is to go and find people that are posting pictures of deep dish pizza and saying, that's a nice quiche. That's all I'm going to do on Twitter for the whole off-season.
We'll just say, that's not a proper pizza.
No, just that's a nice quiche. That's it. Over and over again. Over and over and over again. I'm going to be positive.
I reckon you go one step more. You only get people from New York posting stuff about pizza.
Yeah.
And you tell them that they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to pizza. Because that'd be funny. Almost as funny as Domino's doing ads recently saying that their pizzas have now gone all Italiano. So what have you been doing all these years previously?
Yes.
You dumb fucks. Oh my God. Right. Well, what else have we got on? Oh, there's the Super League Grand Final. Hull KR versus Wigan.
Yeah, at least there's a new team in the grand final.
That's
It'd be
on
nice
Saturday.
if
How much do you think? How much do you think Wigan will win that one by?
Probably, I don't know, 16 points.
16 points.
Yeah. I can't believe that the entire nation of Great Britain isn't talking about the big matchup between fucking East Hull and Wigan. Like, you'd think that they'd be really invested in the big clash between East Hull and Wigan.
When was the last time Hull KR won the top flight premiership?
I'm going to say 56.
No, they've actually won 3 since then.
Oh, there you go. I'm going to say say 81.
I was going to say, you've been alive for 2 of them.
Ah, shit. Oh, it's got to be in the last 11 years then.
I've been alive for all of them.
Do you remember when I used to say to the English fans, I'm only 11? Because they would every so often there'd be somebody that was threatening me with violence, and I'd say, what are you doing? I'm only 11 years old.
And they'd back off.
Some of them did. I don't know. When was it?
83, 84, 84, 85. Back
there
to
you
back.
go.
And then I think it was only shortly after that Hull FC had a win.
Yeah.
And then, no, I think that was 86, 87. I think after that, it's been 4 or 5 teams that have won all of them.
Yeah.
Wigan, Saints, Leeds, Bradford.
Someone
else.
No, that's it.
And I think, was it Widnes got one in the 90s?
Oh, they got, that was was that 91? I think they did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was, what was it, from 92 onwards, something like that.
Yeah.
We worked it out. There was only 4 teams that had won it. So it'd be cool if Hull KR won it and it was just a different name there, but we'll see. I've said that before and it never happens. So
yeah.
I'm just so down and out on English Rugby League. I'm just not, I can't pretend that I'm not.
See, that's what you could do differently. Is
Yeah.
Watch the Super League Grand Final.
Yeah.
And just, even though you don't believe it, talk about how amazing all of the players are and all the things that they do.
Just say everyone's world class over and over again.
Man, these players, if they pick a bunch of players in, from this game in the English side, they're going to win the Ashes.
Yeah.
Just a bit stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think you'll love that a bit too much.
I don't know. I just think it goes too much against my DNA,
It does. But, every now and then you need to see from a different perspective.
See how the other half lives.
That's right.
I'm just looking at the thing that I look forward to for every Super League clash is just before the games, just having Brian Carney yelling at me through the TV. Like he doesn't talk when he's on TV. He just yells. It's like it's because he's excited because everything's so exciting.
Is he regularly excited?
Oh, every single game. He just yells at you. If you watch the Super League Grand Final build-up, it'll just be Brian Carney yelling at you. It'll be great.
Well, that's something to look forward to.
I'm
keen on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much else has gone on, to be honest. I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, it's great. Well, we look forward to the Pacific Championships. And then we'll get into the Ashes and we'll do all the other internationals. And then I guess we'll get stuck into history podcasts. So it'll be good.
That and your awards as well. Got to get those rolling.
King of Rugby League Awards. You know what we need to check out before we go? Who won the tip and comp?
Oh.
Let's have a look. Okay, I'm loading it up. Come on.
We'll blame the NRL website for being slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so comps. Tip and comp. Oh, what? There's something going on with our tip and comp.
Has someone come from the clouds? Did I win it?
No, somebody completely different won it. So remember we said Nadine was leading?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kaneen 13 had just overtaken her and he had total margin points.
Yep.
But somebody else has won it apparently.
Oh, I've just had a look now.
Austin B.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
And Nadine's down to third.
Yeah, but they were up by more than a point. I'm sure of it.
That's not. Well, in the good news on the footy tip and comp.
Yeah.
I got my total margin to 1,000.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, right on it.
Excellent. Perfect. I think, what did I end up, 38th or something, I think. 38th. This is you. 134 and the winner was 143. So, well, congratulations, Wazik. That's Austin B. Who, it's the 3-way tie at the top. Austin B, Sean C, and Nadine all had 143, and the difference was total margin at the end. So Wazik was 483 was the total margin.
Yep.
Kaneen was at 500, and Nadine was at 507.
24 between the three of them.
Yeah, not too much, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surprised anybody overtook the both of them.
That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, let me see what it was last week. So, oh no, that's just, yeah, it doesn't let you do that. Anyway, well, that's interesting. That's a come from the clouds sort of win, a little bit like the Broncos this year. I mean, they went. People were like, "Oh, Broncos," and then all of a sudden they come home like a raging, rampaging Bronco.
Yeah.
So good stuff, Austin.
Just so you know, the overall tipping winner for all of the NRL tipsters,
yeah,
had a score of 158, and the second best had 152.
Oh wow.
So our tipsters weren't far off the pace.
Yeah, we got a pretty good tipping comp going. It's great.
Yeah. I ranked 159,522 all up.
Oh, did ya? Let me see what my ranking was. I was 20. I was 28,468. Yeah.
I mean, you guys though were all cheating because you're doing your tips all week by week.
Week by week. That's pretty funny.
I put my neck on the line. I did them all at once. The start of the year without any form to go off, and I'm going to do it again this year or next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope I get off to a better start next year. I think I will.
Yeah. I think I just need to pick 3 or 4 teams.
Yeah.
To back every single week.
Yeah.
And just mix the rest of them up.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if you just, without fail, when they weren't playing one another, obviously, if you always picked, say, the Broncos, the Storm, and the Panthers, and you went from there, and maybe the Bulldogs as well. I think they'll be pretty good still next year.
Yeah,
and then work it out from there.
We'll see. I'll do that, and I'll set up one for my 2 kids.
Yep. Okay.
And I'll try and do theirs week to week.
Okay.
They'll probably be more inclined to remind me.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll see. That sounds like a lot of work for me to do, so that's probably too much. But I'll try and make that a habit.
Sweet.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we hope you were thoroughly, will we say entertained or just informed?
Yeah. A little bit of both.
Infotained.
Yeah.
Cool. That's where all the good shit is on the infotainment channels.
Yeah.
We are not going anywhere, so make sure you check us out. We'll be back next week.
Yep.
We'll talk whatever we can talk about. If there's no footy on, I'm sure there is. And we will catch you all next time.